they asked her to sing as a joke. Not because they believed she could sing, but because they believed she couldn't. And in less than 2 minutes, that joke would turn into a moment no one in that school would ever forget, because the quiet girl they mocked was about to open her mouth and reveal a voice powerful enough to silence an entire auditorium. But to understand how that moment happened, you have to go back to the beginning, back to a small town where dreams were often buried before they even had the chance to grow. Her name was Lily Carter. Lily was 16 years old, quiet, thin, and almost invisible in the crowded halls of Westbrook High School. If you asked most students about her, they'd probably shrug and say the same thing. The quiet girl. Lily wasn't popular. She didn't wear expensive clothes. She didn't hang out with the cool kids. She didn't have thousands of followers online. She walked through the hallways like a shadow, always looking down, always trying not to draw attention. And that was exactly how the other students liked it. Because people who are invisible are easy targets. Lily lived with her mother in a small apartment above an old grocery store at the edge of town. The building creaked when the wind blew, and the heater worked only when it felt like it. Her mother, Sarah Carter, worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. During the day, she cleaned offices. At night, she worked as a waitress at a diner. She left home before sunrise and came back long after midnight. But every night, no matter how tired she was, she always asked Lily the same question. How was school today? And Lily always gave the same answer. Good. Even when it wasn't. Because Lily didn't want to worry her. What Sarah didn't know was that school had become the hardest part of Lily's life. It started small. Whispers in the hallway, giggles when she passed, someone hiding her backpack, someone else writing OSER on her locker. At first, Lily tried to ignore it, but bullies can smell silence, and silence makes them bolder. The worst of them was a girl named Madison Blake. Madison was everything Lily wasn't. Confident, popular, beautiful. Her father owned half the businesses in town, and everyone treated Madison like she was royalty. She had a group of friends who followed her everywhere like loyal soldiers. And Madison loved having an audience, especially when she was making fun of someone. One afternoon during lunch, Lily sat alone at the corner table of the cafeteria. Her lunch was simple, just a peanut butter sandwich and an apple. Madison and her friends noticed her. Madison leaned toward her group and whispered something. They all laughed. Then Madison stood up and walked straight toward Lily's table. Her friends followed. The entire cafeteria slowly grew quiet. Madison sat down across from Lily without asking. "Well, look who's here," she said sweetly. Lily kept her eyes down. Madison leaned forward. "You know, we were just talking about the school talent show next week." Lily said nothing. Madison smiled. You should sign up. The girls behind her burst into laughter. Yeah, one of them added. Maybe she can perform magic. Like disappearing forever. More laughter. Lily felt her face burning. Madison tilted her head. Come on, Lily. Don't you have a talent? Still no answer. Madison shrugged dramatically. Well, if you don't sign up, maybe we'll sign you up ourselves. The girls laughed again. Then they walked away. For the rest of the day, Lily tried to forget about it. But something strange happened the next morning. When she walked into school, people were staring at her. Some were smiling. Some were whispering. And then she saw it. A poster on the hallway wall. Westbrook High Talent Show, this Friday! Under the list of performers, her name was written. Lily Carter. Singing performance? Her heart dropped. She hadn't signed up. But someone had. And she knew exactly who. When she entered her classroom, Madison looked back at her from across the room and smiled. The kind of smile that said everything without saying a word. Lily sat down, her stomach twisting into knots. She thought about going to the teacher. She thought about asking them to remove her name. But every time she imagined it, she heard the laughter again. So she said nothing. The days passed slowly, and the closer Friday came, the heavier Lily's heart felt. But there was one secret no one at school knew about. Not Madison. Not the teachers. Not even most of Lily's classmates. Because when Lily was alone, she sang. Every night. In their tiny apartment. While her mother worked late shifts. Lily would sit by the window with an old second-hand guitar her father had left before he passed away years ago. And she would sing. Not loudly. Not for an audience. Just softly. For herself. Music was the only place where Lily felt free. The only place where the world stopped judging her. The only place where she didn't feel invisible. Her father used to tell her something when she was little. Your voice is a gift, he said, and one day people will hear it. But Lily never believed that, because gifts don't matter if no one is willing to listen. Friday arrived. The entire school buzzed with excitement. The talent show was the biggest event of the year. Students filled the auditorium. Teachers sat near the front. Parents filled the back rows. Bright lights lit the stage. Performances began. Dancers. Comedians. A magic act. Every time someone finished, the crowd clapped and cheered. Backstage, Lily stood frozen. Her hands trembled. Her heart beat so fast she could hear it in her ears. Madison and her friends were sitting in the front row. They kept glancing back toward the stage entrance, whispering and laughing. They were waiting for the joke. Finally, the host walked on stage. And now, our next performer, he said, reading from the card. Lily Carter. A wave of murmurs spread through the crowd. Madison covered her mouth dramatically, pretending to be shocked. Wait, she's actually doing it? One girl whispered loudly. Laughter rippled through the front rows. Backstage, Lily felt her legs weaken. She could run. She could walk away. No one would stop her. But then she remembered something. Her father's voice. "Your voice is a gift." And her mother, working 2 jobs just to give her a future. Lily took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. The lights were blinding. The auditorium looked like a dark ocean of faces. Whispers filled the room. Is that her? She's the quiet girl. Is this a prank? Lily walked slowly to the microphone. She could see Madison in the front row, smiling, waiting. The room fell quiet. Lily's hands shook slightly as she adjusted the microphone. For a moment, she almost couldn't breathe. Then she closed her eyes and remembered the small apartment, the window, the guitar. The nights she sang when no one was listening. She took one breath and began. The first note floated through the air, soft, clear, pure, and instantly, the whispers stopped. The second note came stronger. The third carried emotion, so deep it felt like the room itself was holding its breath. People began turning their heads. Teachers leaned forward. Students looked at each other in disbelief. Because the voice coming from that quiet girl was something no one expected. It wasn't just good. It was breathtaking. Her voice filled the auditorium like a rising wave of emotion. Every note carried pain, hope, strength, all the feelings she had kept silent for years. In the front row, Madison's smile slowly disappeared. Her friends stopped laughing. No one was whispering anymore. By the time Lily reached the chorus, the entire room was frozen. Some students had tears in their eyes. Teachers stared in shock. And when she held the final note, the sound echoed through the auditorium like something magical. Then silence. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. And suddenly, the entire room erupted. Thunderous applause. People stood up. Teachers clapped. Students cheered. A standing ovation spread through the auditorium like wildfire. Lily opened her eyes. She looked out at the crowd, confused. Because for the first time in her life, everyone was looking at her with admiration instead of judgment. In the front row, Madison sat frozen, her face pale, because the joke she planned had just turned into the most unforgettable performance the school had ever seen. But the story didn't end there. After the show, something unexpected happened. A man approached Lily backstage. He introduced himself as Daniel Harper, a local music producer who had come to watch his niece perform earlier in the show. But after hearing Lily sing, he stayed. "I've been working in music for 20 years, he told her. And voices like yours don't come around often. Lily stared at him, speechless. He handed her a card. "Call me," he said, "because the world deserves to hear that voice." That night, Lily returned home to the small apartment above the grocery store. Her mother was sitting at the kitchen table, exhausted after work. "How was the talent show?" she asked. Lily smiled. For the first time in years, she truly smiled. It was good, she said softly. But what she didn't know yet was that someone had recorded her performance. And by morning, the video had spread across the internet. Thousands of people watched it. Then millions. The girl who had been invisible for years was suddenly being heard all over the world. And the lesson that moment taught everyone at Westbrook High School was simple. Never judge someone by their silence. Because sometimes the quietest people are the ones carrying the most powerful voices. And sometimes the joke you make about someone becomes the moment that reveals their greatness.